Good morning. My name is Christina Felchlin, Support Manager at Ledgeview. Welcome back for our February Ledgeview Dynamic CRM User Group webinar. Our topic for today is reports. When to use them, what are the pros, cons, and limitations. Then we have a few demos, and then off to answer your questions previously submitted. On to some housekeeping items. To ensure the best audio quality for all attendees, we have everyone on listen-only mode. If you have a question, please submit those in the question pane of your GoToWebinar control panel. I know we typically don't have much time for questions, but we'd still love to hear from you during today's presentation. If time does not permit, we promise to follow up offline. Lastly, today's webinar is being recorded and will be available on demand after the live session. All registered attendees will receive an email this afternoon with an access link. Many of you have an ad hoc or comprehensive support agreement with Ledgeview. With any of your support agreements, your CRM Power user has the ability to ask questions like, how do I, why did this happen, please add this field or workflow, etc. When you contact our support team, please call the support line at 920-560-6888 or email us at crmsupport@ledgeviewpartners.com. Please do not email the support consultants directly, as we want to make sure that we are getting to your question as quickly as we can, and by going to our general queue, we can accomplish that. For our agenda, as I mentioned earlier, we are going to talk about the much anticipated topic, reports. Michael is back to review all the ways we can retrieve or view data and when it's best to use an advanced find, a view, a dashboard, or a report. He will then move into the pros, cons, and limitations of the report wizard, show a few demos on how to create reports using the report wizard, provide ideas for other reports, and then review a known Microsoft issue with some customers with the reports. After we review the reports, we will then jump into the pre-submitted user questions, and if time, questions submitted during today's webinar. Then I want to let you know about a couple upcoming webinars we have here at Ledgeview. As you can see, we have a full agenda, so without further ado, we welcome back Michael Dodds, Support Consultant with Ledgeview.
Thank you, Christina, for that wonderful introduction. Hope everyone is doing well today and surviving the dreads of winter, especially in the colder states. But let's get to some important information to warm us up. So to start off with, a lot of questions revolve around the different methods in retrieving CRM data. There's a few different methods, and I just want to touch on those and when to use them and when not to use them. So one of our first methods that we always cover, and we covered in a previous webinar, is advanced find. And when you really want to use advanced find is when you're looking for, a one-time data set or a set data period. When you really don't want to touch on an advanced find is when you're looking for a dynamic data set. And by dynamic, I mean setting like the date range that you're trying to pull from. So let's say you're looking for the next 5 months. It's going to change every time you pull the advanced find. It's going to pull the next 5 months. That was really more for a view. And same thing if you're looking to view the data frequently. This is where you would use a view, which is essentially just a saved advanced find. You would want to use that for those dynamic data sets and when you want to review the data frequently. If you're really only looking to, that one-time data pull or that set data period for advanced find, really a view isn't for you. You're going to want to just use the advanced find. Now, dashboard is another fantastic way to retrieve CRM data and view it. Especially you can view it graphically. You can also combine like data sets. So if you're looking to compare the opportunity for a sales manager, opportunities created in the last 30 days, activities, leads, those kind of items, those are like items that you can put into a dashboard and really review. You can also compare charts, compare different sales reps, how much they were able to generate in revenue over the last 2 months. You can compare those between sales reps. When you don't want to use a dashboard, it's really when you're combining unrelated items. So if it's not something that you want to get in a quick view and they're unrelated, just use a view or the advanced find for that. Or if there's deep analysis required, a dashboard is really just for a quick hitting view to be able to start your day or midday to get a review of what's going on. Our next item is reports, specifically utilizing the report wizard. It's a fantastic tool, it really is. And you can pull data and you can set it in groupings, meaning you could group all opportunities for a specific account, and then you can go ahead and summarize the numeric values. So if you want to know how much revenue was generated for that account in all opportunities for last year, you can do that and then sum up all the data for the year. You can also put charts and tables together in one page. When you don't want to use this is when you're utilizing highly customized reports or charts, or you're utilizing logic that requires customization. That's where we're going to go into our next part, which is custom reports. That's where those pieces are really going to come in handy. So for a custom report, if you want to distribute this report for an upcoming sales meeting or a board meeting and really make it appealing, custom report will probably be the way to go. Or if you want to compare calculated fields, that's another great direction to go. Filtering a report after it's generated, meaning you've generated the report and you want to further filter the data after the report has come up, you can do that in a custom report, but not with the report wizard. Customized charts. Report wizard really can only do basic charts, so if you want to make more complex charts, custom reports the way to go. Columns not related to the data. If we go back to our Advanced Find webinar, we touched on how you can really only go one deep in pulling in columns. You can really only pull in accounts that are related to opportunities, but you can't go further than that in the relation. You can do that with a custom report. And a really, really common custom report that's done is if you want to pull all accounts that don't have any contacts. You can pull that information with a custom report. Unfortunately, CRM cannot pull a record in which there's no data. As today's webinar is really focused on the reports, let's jump further into the report wizard and look at some pros, cons, and limitations. Some pros about the report wizard, as I touched on, the grouping ability and being able to look at sales reps, accounts, and just group that data together and have a better view of it. Summing ability, as we touched on, being able to sum all the data for estimated revenue or actual revenue. That's something that you can't do in Advanced Find unless you exported it to Excel and then created a formula to generate that information. It's a more appealing format than Advanced Find. It's also easy to use. It's very, very easy. Any user can create a report. You can also export to a PDF, Word, Excel, where Advanced Find or View, you can only export to Excel. As we touched on before, you can add basic charts, and you can open a record directly from the report. Some cons and some limitations are limited customization. You can't change the font, the wording, and the color scheme. Those are really limitations there. You cannot achieve complex requirements. What that means is if you're looking to pull in different data, it's a really complex scenario that you have, you are limited to the basic logic of CRM. And you can't expand upon that, where a custom report can. As we touched on before, you cannot filter reports after they're generated. And if you want to add in a hyperlink to, let's say, your website or supplier's website, you cannot do that from the report, but a custom report could. Lookup functionality, if you want to add a contact lookup field to a report, that's not a capability, that's a limitation. Utilizing sub-reports, that can be done with customization, but not in the report wizard. Parameters are strictly a custom report piece, and if you want to add page numbers and the current date and time to the footer section, that's not available in the report wizard as of today. The meat and potatoes part of a report is filtering, and I'm sure this looks very, very familiar to everyone who was on the Advanced Find webinar. This uses that same business logic. So a key thing to remember here is when you're doing filtering for the report, you want to make sure that you're understanding the relationships to the main field. So accounts, understand how opportunities and leads are affected and how that relationship works. And also remember that if you pull the report and there is no data, don't panic. just go back, take a look at your filter, make sure you have it set as equals instead of does not equal, or contains data instead of does not contain data, because that can really mess up what you're looking for. Just go back and make those changes, review what you're filtering, rerun the report. So without further ado, let's jump into CRM and really take a look at a demo. Our first demo is going to be where a marketing manager wants to generate a report that shows the number of accounts that were created from the direct marketing campaign, and also the amount of revenue that was generated from opportunities with that direct marketing campaign. We're going to group the reports by account, sum the actual revenue, and then add 4 columns. Sales rep, which is also the owner, the opportunity topic, the actual close date, and actual revenue. Now I know what you guys are thinking. Wow, this is a lot of stuff, and we only have, a little bit of time left. I'm actually going to show you how quick and easy this is to create in CRM. So if I pull our CRM over here, and as it loads, as everyone who's on 2015 realizes that this is your main navigation dropdown, we're going to go into sales, and we're going to go to reports. And up here in your upper ribbon, we're going to click on new to create a new report. See, the record type is report wizard. So we're going to go ahead and click on the report wizard button. And then we're going to have a start a new report and click next. And sometimes these errors will pop up. If you just click don't send, you can move past them. We are currently looking, again, to show the accounts that were generated from a marketing campaign. And so we're going to set our accounts, and we're also looking for the opportunities related. So our main record type is going to be accounts, and our related is going to be opportunities. So we're going to label this source campaign generated report. And then we're going to click next. And here is our filtering section. And there are going to be times where it's going to come with preloaded filters. If they don't apply to you, you can just remove them away. So I'm just going to delete these. And we are looking specifically for the source campaign on leads. So we're going to do leads parent account for lead. We're going to change this to source campaign and equals direct marketing. And then we're going to do the same thing for the opportunity to make sure that we're only getting those fields. So we're going to go to leads, qualifying opportunity. And then we're going to look again at source campaign, direct marketing. And then we'll click next. And as our marketing manager mentioned to us, we want to group these reports by account. So you can see the record type is account and the column is account name. So that's perfect. That's exactly what we'd like to do. Our column she wants to add is our sales rep. And in terms of in CRM, that is going to be known as owner. So we add the owner. And then we're looking for the opportunity topic. So in this record type, we need to change it to opportunities. Set it as topic, click OK. And then the last two, actual close date and actual revenue, we are looking for opportunity, actual close date, and actual revenue. Change this one to opportunity and then look at actual revenue. And then with actual revenue, we want to make sure that we do summary type sum, because we're going to be summing this information. We're going to click OK. Click next. And in this scenario, we want to make sure that we're only doing a table. So we're going to leave that as table only and click next. This is just a summary. Click next. It's going to generate the report. So the report was successfully created, and we're going to click finish. And then up here we can click run report. Now we can see what our data comes back with. So I'll expand this as it's running. And as you can see, we grouped it by account name. And then within the account name, we have the owner, the opportunity topic, the close date, and the revenue. And it's going to sum up the revenue for each account. And at the very bottom, it's going to have your main summary for all accounts, all opportunities created from the direct marketing campaign. So it's a really critical information for your leadership team. So if we go back to our PowerPoint, that's our first demo. Our second demo is where a sales manager would like to capture the following information. They want to look at all accounts with opportunities scheduled to close in the next month and the revenue that's estimated to be generated in that next month. Group the report by the sales rep, sum the estimated revenue. But in this case, we're going to show the information graphically and in a table. And then they want 4 additional columns. So if we jump back to CRM, we're going to create a new report. Again, go to the report wizard. And then we're going to do start a new report. This report is opportunities closing in the next month. And again, we're looking for the accounts with opportunities. So that's going to be our primary record type. Our secondary or related record type will be opportunities. So we set that and we click next. And for our filtering, we're just going to clear these away as they don't apply. And for accounts, I want to make sure I'm getting opportunities related to the account that are estimated to close in the next 30 days. So if I go next X days, and then I just type in 30, that's set. And then I also want to set this for the opportunity, because I want to make sure I'm only getting the opportunity showing that information. So do next X days and do 30. And then if we click next, for our groupings, the sales manager wants to group by sales rep, which is also the owner. Now you can group this by account owner, or you can do it by opportunity owner. It's completely up to you. We're also going to add in the account name, the opportunity topic, so we're going to change this to opportunity topic. And then we're going to add in the estimated close date, so change this to opportunity, estimated close date, and then estimated revenue. And we're going to sum the estimated revenue, so change the summary type to sum. Click OK. Now we have all of our columns and groupings. We're going to click next. And we're going to do a chart and table. And so we're going to show the table below the chart on the same page. So we're going to click next. In this case, we're going to do a pie chart. So we're going to click on pie chart. And your slices are going to be by owner, and the values are going to be the sum of the estimated revenue. If we had any other numeric values, we would be able to change that data value. But since sum of estimated revenue is the only one we have, that's what we're locked into. So we'll click next. There's our report summary. We'll click next through there. And then we'll click finish. So we'll quickly run this report. And as it generates, and depending on the amount of data, it can take a large amount of time or a low amount of time. As you can see here from this pie chart, Mike Dodds has a significant amount of the pie. And if you want to look at this data more of the numeric values, just click the next page. And here's your table, grouped by owner with the account name, opportunity topic, close date, and estimated revenue, all summed up at the bottom. If we jump back to our PowerPoint presentation, there's a couple of other examples that I'd like to run through. Just 3 quick ones. I've already created these, so it's just going to show you a way in which they were created. One is accounts in a specific industry with opportunities created in the last month from a specific lead source. Opportunities created in the last 8 months that have not closed and are still in 2 specific stages, and opportunities that are past due. So we're going to jump back to our CRM, and we're going to dive into these reports. So our first report is we're looking at specific industries of consulting, business services, and financial. The opportunities for the account were created in the last 30 days, and the lead source equals trade show. And one thing we would want to add here is we're looking for created on for the opportunity in the last X days. And I just wanted to demonstrate how you can change this piece. Even if you've already created the report, you can change the filtering for each specific time you run the report as well. So we'll click on Report. And then here's our pie chart. And you can see we're all pretty even. And then if we move into the data, as you can see here, it's broken down by industry and then also summed by owner. So you can see here under consulting, Taylor and Tyler both have accounts within, but unfortunately Taylor doesn't have any revenue, but Tyler does. So it's going to give us our grand total here at the bottom. And then our second report is a really nice report for any sales manager looking for. You can do this created in the last 8 months, or you can do over 8 months. With us having just test data, we did the last 8 months. And we're showing all opportunities that are open and still in the develop or qualify stage. So if we click Run Report, you can see here under my name, Mike Dodds, I have quite a few accounts with opportunities. And you can see how all the summing of the totals appears right here. So each section is going to get its own summary. And then at the very bottom, you have the grand total. And then our last report is for opportunities that are past due. Just as a reminder, when you're setting up the filtering for past due, you want to make sure you set it to be yesterday or older than 1 day. If you don't include yesterday, you will not see anything that was due yesterday because it's still past due. And click Run Report. And in this circumstance, we have a vertical bar chart. So in this scenario, if we click into the bar chart, this is how we're going to get our tables. So there's 2 different options for charts. You can do a chart with a table right below it, or you can do a chart and then embedded within that chart, meaning if you click into it, you'll get the table. And let's just jump back to our PowerPoint. So those are the various scenarios for reports and different ways that they can be run. Currently, there is a known issue with reports being created with the report wizard. Microsoft is aware of this issue, but if you export that report to Excel, and there's values, meaning if you have actual revenue or estimated revenue, it can sometimes appear as hashtag value. If you have an ad hoc support agreement, notify the support team here at Ledgeviews Partners, and we would be happy to take care of fixing that issue for you. It takes about 15 minutes per report. So let's just jump into some questions from our users. Our first question is, how do you customize reports where the user can enter information to produce a report? I'm going to answer this question with a bit of an assumption. I'm assuming that by entering information, you mean the ability to filter and enter that information for the filtering. Any report, including reports where the user inputs information, can be customized. Those 2 ways to customize a report wizard, which is limited as we showed, and custom report modifications. SSRS reports, you can utilize Visual Studio to update reports. Those are your couple different options there. Our next question is, how can I create a dynamic variable in my reports? For example, I want to have a report that uses the run date to calculate a time span from 1 to 5 months in the future. Now, what's great about dynamic filtering in reports and in Advanced Find, by setting that dynamic grouping, for example, an opportunity that's scheduled to close in the next 5 months, because of the way you set that up to be the next 5 months, it's dynamic, and it's going to go every time you run that report. So if you run it now, it'll show the next 5 months. If you run it 5 months from now, it'll show the next 5 months. So by setting the filter as dynamic, you're setting the future time frame from the date you run your report. And our last question from our users is, how do I enable fantasy sales teams for dynamic CRM online? That's a fantastic question. And with fantasy sales team being brand new, this is a really great opportunity to get information. The fantasy sales team was created by sales reps for sales reps. And it's a way to engage your sales reps with different competitions that are new and exciting. And with fantasy sales team, they really took that fantasy football approach to it, and they're giving the option to draft your own fantasy sales team, meaning you can draft different players. You can have 2 captains and have them draft. You can draft you can have different scenarios in which you win different competitions, badges. There's leaderboards set up out there to see who's winning. It's really interactive with your sales team, so it's very exciting. And Microsoft partnered with Fantasy Sales Team. So the way you can actually set this up in Dynamic CRM Online is, as long as you're an admin, navigate to portal.office.com, log in with your admin credentials, click on the admin section on the lower left, click on the CRM, click on the icon next to solutions, and then it'll bring up this screen, as you can see on the right-hand side of the slide here, where it says Manage Your Solutions. Click on Fantasy Sales Team, and then click on Install. Next, you'll want to navigate to the Solutions section in CRM. Click on Fantasy Sales Team. Then it will bring you to the section where you can register your account. It will send you an email to authenticate your account and another email to set up your password. And it'll send you some videos and some setup guides. The next thing that will happen is the Fantasy Sales Team app will actually appear right in CRM, and I'm going to show you where that is. So if we go back, if we go back into our CRM and we click on our main navigation dropdown, you can see here the Fantasy Sales Team is set up right in CRM. It's got your settings, your games, your players, metrics. It's got all that information right in CRM for you. So it's a great partnership, and it's a really great application.
All right. Thank you, Michael, for providing that great content about reports. Here I have included just a few report resources I found on the internet. One specifically for the report wizard, how you can create, edit and copy a report using the report wizard, and then another one on how to customize and organize reports. So if you're interested in learning more about those, you can definitely check out those links. And then I just want to remind you guys of our blog. Want to receive tips and tricks on the latest news from Ledgeview Partners, you can sign up for our blog and go to our website at ledgeviewpartners.com. Find the subscribe to our blog on the right side of the screen and enter your email address and click submit. There you will find and learn information about our webinars. And at Ledgeview, we strive to keep our customers educated on the latest CRM features. In addition to our new Ledgeview Partners user group webinar, we have a couple other webinars that may be of interest to you. In just 2 days, we are hosting a webinar with a spotlight on service. In this webinar, we'll go beyond sales and marketing to talk about an invaluable tool for creating amazing customer experiences and driving customer service efficiencies. On March 2nd, we will help you with tips on how to implement your CRM or jumpstart stale users. That one is a 27-point inspection on user adoption. On March 10th, we are hosting another marketing webinar from our marketing automation series called Harnessing the Power of Your Marketing Automation System. And then, of course, we have our next Ledgeview CRM user group webinar, and that's Tuesday, March 15th. In this webinar, we will focus on marketing. We'll talk about marketing lists, email templates, campaign events, and event participation. If you have someone in your organization who works with the marketing module in CRM, please extend the invitation to them. As always, a week before the webinar, we will send an email out looking for user questions. Please submit them so we can answer your questions live during the webinar. If you would like to register for one of these upcoming events, you can go to ledgeviewpartners.com, click on the green circle called News and Events. Look on the right side under Upcoming Webinars where you'll find the webinar you're interested. Click on More Information and Register link to sign up. On behalf of Michael and I and all of us at Ledgeview Partners, we would like to thank you for spending time with us today. Hope you have a great rest of your day.